Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you guys what my Pokemon card collection slash investment looks like after 4 years. Hopefully there's a card of interest for everyone in here because I will be showing off my PSA cards, my raw cards, as well as some sealed product, and I got both English, Japanese from multiple generations. So yeah, I did make a video like this last year and it did really well. People seem to really like this kind of content, so I thought I'd make an update, and this video also helps myself as I can track my collection goals over the years. So I'll try to make this an annual thing. But yeah, I have to take these cards out of my different vaults. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video and let's get started. I think I'm just going to go through it in somewhat chronological order. So we'll start with the WotC era. This was one of the first eras of Pokemon. This included some main sets such as Base Set, Team Rocket, Jungle, Fossil, and some of the later Neo sets, but honestly, I didn't grow up in this era, so I don't have too much nostalgia attached to it, but I'm sure a lot of you viewers out there did actually grow up during this era, so I'm sure that you guys might have a bit more appreciation for these cards than me. But honestly, definitely think Aquapolypse and a lot of the E-Series sets have a lot of the best artworks in the WotC era. Just look at how cool this Hypno card is. It's literally eating the guy's dream. I think this is sort of like a vintage alt art. I feel like this would be a really sick alt art to bring back for Hypno. The e-reader series honestly just makes these cards so unique. You don't see this kind of patterning on any other type of Pokemon cards, and definitely this was a great generation in my opinion. I know that these E-Series cards wasn't appreciated when they were released and they weren't popular, but down the road, years later, people definitely do cherish these cards quite a bit, especially those crystal cards. But honestly, I think this is one of my favorite artworks from the WotC era, and hence why I picked it up. So as I was saying, I'm primarily, I think, a middle era collector. So I'm going to show you guys a lot of EX cards, level X cards. That's sort of my favorite era, but nonetheless, Gold Stars need no introduction. They're one of the rarest cards in the hobby. 1 in 72 packs roughly to pull one. The printing also wasn't the best during that era, so making these cards quite a bit of a chase. So I only have 2 with me right here, but Groudon was one of my favorite Pokemons, and Suicune honestly has such a nice artwork as well. But it's unfortunate that if you guys don't know the release behind these cards, they were supposed to be quite rare to obtain, but if you guys look at the prices, Suicune, Raikou, and Entei Gold Stars are some of the lowest price cards in the hobby, because it's likely that a lot of these were stolen from the factory. That's what kind of makes it less, I guess, appealing for some of the collectors. And there is definitely an abundance of those kind of cards on the hobby. But nonetheless, the artworks are beautiful. It's a shame that that's what happened to those cards. But moving on, one of my favorite and most nostalgic type of cards are these EX cards. Fun fact, this was a childhood card, but also if you look at the HP, 200 HP, that's what I used to judge how strong or how good a Pokemon card is back in the day. And 200 HP was the highest Pokemon has ever seen when this card was released. It remained to be the highest HP EX card for several years. I think later on, maybe some level X cards had more HP, if I'm not mistaken. I did remember this card fondly just because of how much health it had. But honestly, I do love Wailord. I think it's a great artwork. Groudon, as I said earlier, one of my favorite legendaries. This tin promo was also a childhood card for me. Love the artwork. The silver hollows definitely make these kind of cards pop out. And just look at the amount of holo foil on this Armaldo EX. Had this as a kid as well, and had this actually in my collection for a long time. Had a lot of fond memories with it. Like, look at how hard it must be to grade these kind of cards and keep it in good condition. I think back then, obviously, a lot of us were playing with these cards during the EX era. It wasn't popular as well. Pokemon has kind of died down after the WotC era, but these EX cards were sort of fairly limited in my opinion. Maybe they weren't produced as much because there wasn't that much demand for Pokemon at that time. But I honestly think they have some of the most underrated artworks. Look how cool Delta Species cards are. Like, we got a Lightning Rayquaza. Although I have to say, I actually prefer this kind of holofoil more than this kind of holofoil for the EX. This is like, you can see all the sparkles and stuff, but this is kind of just one tone of the silver. So my partner actually gifted this to me during Christmas. Really appreciated. It's a Kindra EX, great artwork, love the Pokemon, and Again, it got this signature E series holo, which is a nice addition to this generation. So thank you to my partner for helping me get closer to my collection goals. So if you guys don't know, since I'm primarily a middle era collector, I'm trying to get all these cards in a PSA 9 or higher. But honestly, just getting a 9 is quite difficult for the reasons I mentioned earlier. But I think 9s are quite clean. I mean, I said this several times. I don't really believe the 10s and like because of manual grading. I think there's a lot of variability, especially for these older cards. I feel like the more modern 9s, like the more recently graded 9s, are actually quite clean. You really can't find too many like visible flaws with it. I really can't tell some of the 9s apart from the 10s, so I've primarily just been going for the 9s. I also think it has some of the best value, especially since I'm primarily a collector. So the Level X era went from 2007 to 2009 roughly, and this is honestly, again, one of my favorite eras. This was sort of near the tail end of my collecting journey. But you can see here Torterra Level X. This was a tin promo. I think it's quite common of a card, but because of the way these tin promos were kind of attached to the cardboard, it actually hurt the edges of the card a lot. So many of these cards do not receive a high grade. So I think even the PSA 9 pop report for this is like 30 or something, and I think there's less than 5 PSA 10s if I'm not wrong. But yeah, like Level X cards I think are notoriously hard to grade just because of how much, again, silver holofoiling there is, and the fact that I think the printing quality was nowhere as good as today. So I think these cards are definitely really worth the pickup. And I guess if you are really interested in the investment point of view, the earlier Level X era cards, so from Mysterious Treasures and Diamond and Pearl base set, and I think some of the earlier generations of Diamond and Pearl, the pull rate for these Level X cards are only about I think 1 in a booster box, so makes it around 1 in 36 packs roughly. I've seen quite a lot of videos of people opening these Diamond and Pearl booster boxes, and they only pull like 1 Level X usually, maybe 2 if they're lucky. So I think Secret Wonders is also one of those sets where it's quite hard to actually pull a Level X. These were the chase cards in this era, unlike I guess Gold Stars were I guess a rarity above the EX cards. I think EX cards you actually pull like 4 or 5 per booster box. But Level X, the earlier generations, only 1 per booster box. And so honestly, these are some of the nicest arts. I love how the Pokemon just pops out of the frame, similar to some of the EX cards, but the Level X cards, man, like I just can't get over how good the artworks look. However, as I think we move into later generations, the cards kind of get more common. So by this, I think some of the Platinum series, you might have 2 to 4 Level X's in a booster box, so making it not as rare. But nonetheless, I think these are some of the best arts. They're hard to grade, so I think like this card is still less than $100 if I'm not mistaken. You're getting a vintage Pokemon card graded a 9 for such a low price, especially when you compare it to some of the price tags of today's cards. But of course, I am biased. These cards are what I grew up with. I have a strong affinity to this, and I think my Level X collection is probably the closest to completion out of all the sets that I'm trying to complete. Also interested what you guys collect, do let me know. I had a lot of positive responses in my first video, so I thought I also make a collection update every year and show you guys, how far my collection is getting along and how I'm doing. So, I mean, like a lot of these cards I was able to pick up at card shows for less than $100, which I think is a fabulous deal. You're getting yourself a, low printed card. A lot of them have a pretty low population report. As I said, a lot of Level X, you don't even have a PSA 10 version of it. So then I think definitely just getting a 9 is already a solid grade, and who knows, maybe a lot of these 9s can even cross as 10s. They're almost virtually perfect, maybe like one small flaw usually, but nonetheless, a huge fan of this kind of card. Dialga, Palkia, my 2 favorite legendaries from the Diamond and Pearl era. I just think their arts are so cool. Having these Pokemon cards in front of me while watching the anime was a really nice vibe. Definitely my favorite type of cards are Level X or EX cards, and yeah, this card, I believe, also a tin promo, so making it quite hard to get a high grade in just because of the way that they were held in the tins. But I really like the way they kind of shading for these metal type Pokemon. I really wish they brought that kind of subtleness in their design back. But yeah, here's another really cheap level X card. Another personal favorite, the Garchomp level X promo. And so now we're moving into the Heart Gold Soul Silver era. And in this era, there's a lot of legend cards as well as prime cards. Those were mainly the chase cards. So if you guys don't know, legend cards are basically these half cards. You usually have another half of this card that basically is the top portion, and they piece together to make a picture. So right now you kind of have the Suicune portion, but honestly a really interesting concept. You never really saw this again. Maybe with the exception of those break cards, they're kind of like sideways as well, but I think they do it really well in this era. And just look at these artworks. I love how it's like a close-up of this Pokemon, and they still have the silver borders, which I still really appreciate. I honestly think the cards look so much better in these silver borders, but right now I think these are some of the cheapest cards. I was able to pick this up for like 40 bucks if I'm not mistaken. A lot of these cards are getting a really nice artwork, nice Pokemon for quite a bit cheaper than what you would find in modern Pokemon sets. So these cards are pretty much the more expensive prime cards for, of course, obvious reasons. But this card I picked up at a card show, and this one I picked up at my local game shop. Shout out to everything J&J. It's, I think, such a unique style. All of these prime cards have if you guys haven't noticed, a similar style where you get the close-up of the Pokemon, and it has like a little sparkle in their like eyes. Like look at this Mew one. And this one, again, picked up at a local card show. I try to pick up as clean of a PSA 9 copy as I can. I can't buy all PSA 10, so I just settle for the 9s. But yeah, this one, 30 bucks, I think. So almost just the price of grading. You get yourself a vintage Pokemon card with a pretty high grade. So honestly, I can't complain there. I think, yeah, this is one of the last cards I have from this era. And I actually pulled this myself, pack fresh, and I only got an 8. Unfortunate, but sometimes this is how it works. So moving on to the black and white era, I only have 2 cards from this era. This one I picked up at a local card show for, I think, less than $100. And I think this is a great pickup just because these cards are pretty short printed as well. Black and white wasn't a popular time for Pokemon. And just look at the artwork. Look at the full art style of these kind of cards. And we have a secret rare from this generation as well, from Plasma Freeze. Not a really popular Pokemon, but I think the rarity itself does make up for this Pokemon. I'm not a huge fan of Garbodor, but happened to win an auction off of Fanatics, and so we picked this card up. So this next set of cards are a bit more modern. We'll start with the XY generation. So this is from Primal Clash. This was also less than $100, but great, beautiful art. Just look at the detail, the texturing. I love these XY black white textures. I think they do a really good job of making the card stand out, and honestly I prefer this over modern day full arts. Again, I'm probably biased, but just look at the hollow foil and the patterning on these cards. This card was like $30, I think, when I picked it up, and this one was like under 100 as well. Just beautiful artwork. This gold Gyarados EX. I think this is also somewhat similar to what you might see in a modern day alternative art card. We got the Gyarados, but a shiny version Gyarados with Greninja, Manaphy. Beautiful card to say the least. One of my favorite modern cards. And next, we got evolutions. I ripped a lot of evolutions when I just got back into the hobby. I think I pulled this from a mini tin, so I was able to find some really cheap mini tins even years after XY was sort of out of print. This one, I think I just bought a lot of XY packs to rip from the secondary market. Not a smart move. I don't know what I was thinking back then, but got lucky. Managed to pull the Charizard, but obviously it's very hard to get a PSA 10 of these kind of cards. The hollow foil and the print lines really set these cards back. So I think you'll see like a 10 times price difference between the 9 and the 10s. And these are just some other more modern pickups from Fanatics. I think a lot of these were just $30 or less. Just, nice artworks. I think the main reason I like Rainbow Rares is, they were pretty rare. They were the chase cards of Sun and Moon era, not like Sword and Shield or now where it's so common to see Rainbow Rares. A lot of times you might only have 1 to 2 Rainbow Rares per booster box, so I definitely think Rainbow Rares are still not appreciated given how rare it is to pull them. People obviously like the alt arts a lot more, and people say that all the rainbow rares look the same. Like, I do get that argument, but just because of the rarity, I really wanted to pick some up for my collection. And especially if it's only for like $30-$40, I don't see the risk to it. So this is probably a fan favorite, Charizard GX from Hidden Fates. This was from one of my first booster pack openings, and I did this with my partner, and we managed to pull this beautiful card, and it came back at 10. So one of my most prized possessions in my collection, card I wouldn't sell just because of how fond of a memory I had. Like, I didn't even know this was a good card when I was opening up the Hidden Fates ETB for the first time. And similarly, this card also pulled with my partner. We were at just eating some McDonald's. This came out of my Happy Meal. How often can you grade stuff that come out of your Happy Meal? But we got lucky. We pulled the Holo Pikachu from the in 2021. So that was the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. So this was the hype and chase card back then, and I'm glad this also came back at PSA 10. So this next set of Pokemon cards are mainly Japanese promos or sort of entry-level trophy cards. And this is a really interesting card in my opinion. This is a University Magikarp. So this is one of the rarest cards in the hobby. It's hard to obtain because it was a 2-day competition. You had to win the first day to make it to the second day. And the intended release was around 1,000 of these copies, but if you look at the population report and other sources, it's likely that not all 1,000 of these copies were released. You can see the crease here. That's pretty much what held it back from any higher grades. But I thought this was a really cool card, a nice part of Pokemon card history, and definitely, I guess, one of the most expensive Magikarps out there. So I do like having this card in my collection. It looks very ordinary on the outside, and normal people wouldn't really appreciate this card, but I think it has a really beautiful backstory that I think is definitely worth picking up if you are kind of interested in the history, and if you are maybe trying to collect some of the more exclusive, rare Pokemon cards in the hobby. So this is sort of my other trophy card, I guess trophy type card. This is a Mysterious Pearl. This was originally given away at the Winter Challenge competition. They did give this card out later on, so the actual release number, so how many copies of this card out there, is not as well known. But nonetheless, I still really like Poke, as I mentioned earlier, and this is pretty exclusive card, I think. But this is I guess the least rare out of all the other. I think there's also a Dialga version of this, and that goes for a lot more. So the 9 I'm happy with. I think it's a pretty good quality card, and I'm happy to have this card in my collection. So these are pretty much like more promo cards. They're not, they're kind of like trophy cards, but they're not in that sense because they're not that rare. You still have to win the gym challenge competitions in the 2005 to 2007 era to receive these kind of cards. These type of victory medals are the earlier versions of victory medals. I'll show you guys the more popular ones in a sec, but these ones, the 2005 one is actually more rare than the 2006 version. Just small caveats, I guess, but there's also a stamped version, which also makes it more rare. And this is, I guess, if you want first place, you get the gold medal, and I really like the art style. It reminds you of the trophy Pikas that, is way out of my price range. So this, I think, was like $300-$400, so definitely a lot more friendlier in price, and you still kind of get a similar vibe that this is like a trophy card. Yeah, fun fact, the 2005 I think version of this, or 2006 version, is a lot more rare. That one's actually like a trophy card, but this one is given away at a lot more card shops in Japan. Similarly, another victory medal. This is from the 2009 era. I really like, again, how it actually says for the winner of the Pokemon card game. It does give it that nice sort of prize card feel, and I do think it's a popular Pokemon with a medal. Definitely somewhat underappreciated in my opinion. These cards are the more popular victory medals, more specifically the 3rd place, 2nd place, and the 1st place victory medals from the 2009 Gym Challenge competitions. And so I do love this set. I love how, I think they do have one of the best Pikachu artworks. So if you are a Pikachu collector or a promo collector, I think these are definitely a must for your collection. Just look how cool this sort of set looks all together. I think my favorite is probably the 2nd place Pikachu victory medal. I actually graded this copy myself. I bought this. Actually, my partner bought this for me, but we bought it from Twice Baked Jake. So shout out to you for helping me complete this set. And I actually picked this card up for pretty cheaply in Japan at a random card shop, underground card shop. If you guys don't know, a lot of Pokemon centers in Japan or in Asia, when they open, they actually give away a card. It's not super limited, but this is a promo card that's given away when the Pokemon Center just opened. So yeah, it's oftentimes the artwork represents the style of the city that this Pokemon Center was opened in. So I guess this was Kimonos, I guess, has a more pronounced history in Kanazawa. But yeah, it's cute. It's actually a female Pikachu because of the tail. You can see it's like a heart shaped. All right, moving on to our raw cards. Got this Togetic. It's actually a damaged copy, but I got this in my thrift store. It was packed with a lot of other cards. Happened to have a Watsy era holo, so we pick these two cards up at my local card show, both for like less than $5. You can see very minty copies of some pretty vintage cards, so nice little pickups. And then this also was a card in the thrift shop package, and then here we just have more. I guess this is the Platinum era, Diamond and Pearl era holos. I'm a huge fan of that. So a lot of like pretty mint copies. Got it again at my local card show, and this was part of the same thrift shop purchase. Also same with these two, also part of my thrift shop purchase. And next we got some Heart Gold Soul Silver cards. Love these Prime cards. I pulled this Ditto myself from a Heart Gold Soul Silver booster pack. Pulled this card myself as well, a Reverse Mismagius, and I believe these were again from the thrift shop purchase. Couple of black and white cards from my local card show, and I picked up some clean XY era cards as well. This is a beautiful Houndoom, and I actually picked these up when they were only a couple bucks each. I see now some of these are $30, I think, which is crazy, but I really like these kind of cards because these were the first gold cards in our hobby. Very subtle gold cards, but nonetheless they are secret rares. And so I thought might as well pick some up. Nice little Dialga break, probably the only popular, I guess, break card that they ever made. And these are more Sun and Moon era collections. So usually for modern cards, I'll try to grade them myself. But these are all really minty rainbow rares. As I mentioned earlier, I think rainbow rares are pretty underappreciated. They were quite hard to pull in the Sun and Moon era, but people all really don't like these cards just because they look so similar. But I think they're a great artwork. And this was a Hidden Fates promo. For the longest time, after the Pokemon hype period, these were going less than $20 for the longest time, but I think now the prices have doubled for this card. But yeah, again, Burning Shadows GX cards. We got Tag Team Rainbow Rares. Honestly, beautiful artwork. Really like this Reshiram and Charizard GX. This is actually from the Walmart exclusive collection boxes. And picking up some of these Hidden Fates GX cards, going for pretty cheap, especially the non-chase ones. But yeah, as you guys can see, been just picking up a lot of these full arts from the Sun and Moon era. Pretty big fan of it. Yeah, some of these cards were only like a few dollars. Like some of these rainbow rares were less than $5 when I was picking these up, but a lot of times you open a full ETB of Hidden Fates, I think it goes for over $200 now. You're usually bound to just pull one of these cards, so I think just picking up each of these for like $4 to get the chase card that you were gonna try to get, I think is a great deal. This card, also a favorite. It comes from the GameStop exclusive box, and more rainbows as well as the Hidden Fates Bennett. All right, moving into more modern cards, we got the famous Pikachu Gray Felt Hat card. Beautiful artwork. I got a pretty mint copy from one of my Pokemon Center orders. This was a gift from my partner. Beautiful Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames. Love the glass artwork style. Reminds me of that Hidden Fates promo card I showed earlier. And Charizard UPC promo card. We got the Mew UPC 151 promo card. Great artwork. Honestly, a lot of these more modern cards have shot up in value. This is the Galarian Moltres tin promo. I really like these cards. They're not super expensive still, but just look at the nice artwork. You got the mountains and the beautiful Moltres on the top. Pulled this from a Crown Zenith booster pack. Mewtwo fighting Charizard. What an incredible fight. Giratina Gold card. This was actually a gift from my mom. She got me some booster packs and I managed to pull this. And Arceus VMAX. So this also came from the GameStop exclusive Arceus collection. This is also part of the 151 Mew promo collection box. And my partner also got me the trio. So we got the Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard EX from 151. Beautiful art styles. We'll be trying to grade all of these, and also just a random Bolton V promo. And yeah, got some just pretty cheap alt art cards, some celebration cards, but nothing I think you guys would be too interested in. Some just other pulls that were gifted to me, some just other Sword and Shield cards that I might or might not grade. Really like the Snorlax card. So yeah, as you guys can see, I'm a huge fan of all generations. I really like these McDonald promos. Yeah, and these are some of the other Scarlet Violet hits that I have, but nothing crazy, honestly. I just really like the artwork on these cards. Like, these are probably like $1 combined, but just look at the artwork. I love how they brought these silver borders back again for these promos. I went to Japan recently. I bought a lot of these cards. These are somewhat damaged holos, but they were super cheap and they packed it in a mystery box. And these actually went for less than $1 per holo, so definitely a great pickup. Yeah, so shout out to Mendarake. They have these crazy mystery packs where I honestly didn't know how good they were. I think they were $10 for 10 of these cards. And I also found some Level X cards at just some Japanese card shops, and they were pretty mint. Picked a lot of these up. And these are just some more modern cards that I picked up in Japan from just random mystery packs that they had lying around. So this was pretty much my Pokemon card graded as well as raw collection. And let's check out the sealed product that I have. Now I'm going to show you guys some of my sealed product collection. This is my shelf, and first we got these Legendary Warriors collection boxes. This was from Walmart. Bought a few of these. They got some nice Sword and Shield era packs. So next I'll show you guys my small tin collection. Don't have too many, but one of my favorites is this Gyarados Hidden Fates tins. As you guys can see from the plastic, it's actually the first print run, which is likely believed that it has better pull rates. Not completely sure. But we also got these K19 mini tins, which have XY evolutions inside. The next item on my shelf are my blister collection. So I don't have too many, but I got some cool XY Breakpoint. I actually have a full art set, some Temporal Forces, some Twilight Masquerade. Nothing too crazy. It's just still a pretty small collection, but I've just been picking it up here and there. So in these two big cardboard boxes are the Classic Collection from Pokemon. So those are the, I think, retail like $500 collection boxes. I was able to get it for only 200 Canadian, so I thought that was a pretty decent pickup. And next, I'm going to show you guys my 3-pack blister collections. We got some Unified Minds, Unbroken Bonds, pretty cool Sun and Moon sets, to be honest. Not the best Sun and Moon sets, but I think they're still pretty sought after. And we got some more Scarlet Violet, some more recent, I think also Sword and Shield Brilliant Stars blisters as well. So again, not that crazy. As you guys can kind of see, I do have just a couple of ETBs from Shrouded Fable and Surging Sparks. She won the Surging Sparks from a giveaway, but we also got a number of booster boxes, Silver Tempest and Vivid Voltage. Really like Vivid Voltage because that's the set that kind of got me back into the hobby. That's right around the time when I just started collecting, so that was about 4 years ago. Here, this is my English booster pack collection. So I have a full art set of XY Primal Clash. We got some other XY Evolution sets, a few Scarlet Violet sets, some of the McDonald promos, got a few Scarlet Violet fun packs, and then we also have some cool sealed promo cards that I like to show. So we got a lot of those Hydreigon thank you promos, celebrations promos. So a lot of these were the ETB promos. And we got these World Championship promos, as well as some of those stamped snowflake ones that you get from the holiday calendar. Next, I have a few of these Fusion Strike build and battle kits. They were on the Pokemon Center forever, so picked them up slowly over time. Also have a few of these Scarlet Violet clamshell booster packs, but nothing too crazy. But this is some of my collection boxes, so shout out to Sunny Bunny for actually getting me this Blooming Waters for retail price. Really appreciate it, man. Also, we have some other Costco collection boxes. A lot of these were gifts. We got some of these Walmart exclusive Shaman V-Star collection boxes. Just a couple of those. My parents picked up this Paldean Fates Costco collection box for me. Also picked up these Crown Zenith 3-pack products. And more recently, I actually got these Raichu GX Shining Legend collection box. So during my Japan trip last summer, I got these Japanese products at Metagross Steam Deck, as well as this Arceus promo card, still in its original, I guess, magazine holder. In the Pokemon Center, I found these Coral products. These are the magazine, but it also comes with this cool Pikachu figure. I believe they were less than $10 each. And it comes with exclusives, our Rude promo, so I thought might as well. During the Pokemon Center trips, I also picked up a number of booster packs for my sealed collection. Nothing too crazy, pretty much all from the more recent sets. But when I was in Taiwan, I did find these Chinese tag team sets. They were very cheap, only $2 to $3 each. Also had some Korean Eevee heroes. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Really appreciate it. Please leave a like if you guys did enjoy this video and subscribe if you guys want to. Also, feel free to check my affiliate links in the description below. They lead to websites that I use and trust. And yeah, thanks guys. I'll see you guys on another video. Peace out.